Hey guys, in this video we're going to go over all your rerolling needs for Umamusume. In this video we're going to go over how to reroll, how to use a secondary device as a save slot to continue rerolling, what are the best things to reroll for. Please go ahead and use the timestamps below. As well, make sure to remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content, if you found this helpful to you. And now let's go to the video. All right, so in this video, we're going to go over how to reroll. So you can see here that I have my Steam client open. This is the account that I've been playing for a couple days now. And let's just say I don't like this account. In order for me to reroll, this is what I would have to do. I would have to return to the title screen. Then I would have to click this hamburger menu and click delete user data and click delete. You cannot undo data deletion, so make sure that you're sure you don't want to keep your account. And over here, you can see that the user data is deleted. So now when we restart the game, if I start it again, then I have this pop up. We can go ahead and click these buttons. I can click I agree. We can hit the United States, whatever country you're in. We'll just put this birth date and skip the tutorial. So this is one of the fastest games to reroll. Put our name, choose the gender, download the data, and then you can go ahead and skip all this sort of little cutscenes, the little banners, the announcements, right? And you'll be brought over to the main screen. From here, what you're going to want to do is click the present box, collect all. You should have around this much. It really depends on when you're watching this video, obviously. Right now, it is June 27th, so it's about 2 days from the launch of global release. And so you should have over 6,000 gems, and importantly, a head start 3-star voucher for a 3-star Uma. And the next thing to do when you're rerolling is obviously roll for what you want. Let's say I wanted to roll for support cards. I can go ahead and do that here. And I could reroll to my heart's content. And let's say I just don't like this account. I can always go ahead and go return to title screen. Hit the menu. Click delete user data. Delete. And you rinse and repeat. Now, some of you might be wondering, hey, didn't you just delete your account? I did not delete my account. So if I go over here onto my phone, you can see I'm starting my phone and I'm going to put this feed onto the screen. So you can see we're both on there and everything's corresponding to my touch. You can see that if I go through this menu, my account is on my phone. And this is the same exact account. It has Maruzensky here. My profile is here as well. Rednu, and you have my trainer ID. Go ahead and add me if you like. As well, you can see that I redeemed all my rewards on the 26th, which was yesterday. So everything from my account that I had on Steam, I data linked over to my phone before starting this video. And so from this, you can clearly see that I have managed to essentially keep my data onto my phone. And let's say I wasn't sure, let's say I'm not sure if I want to keep this account and I feel like rerolling. Well, I can always just continue rerolling on Steam. So that's how you can go ahead and use a secondary device as a sort of save slot. And this is best done if you're kind of unsure whether or not you want to keep your account. It works for an Android phone, 100%, and the Steam client. For any other devices, any other platforms, I'm not 100% sure, obviously, because I don't have the means to test it. Please do whatever I'm doing here at your own risk. Now, obviously, the intended goal is to have your account on both your phone and on Steam so that you can play whenever, wherever. How do I get my account that's on my phone or on my Steam back onto the other device? Well, I can go over here on the menu on my phone. I can go to data link right here, and then we will set a link password. I'm going to go ahead and hide this just in case it shows any sensitive info, and maybe if you have the password, it's not going to be a good idea for me. we'll go ahead and do this. So I have set my link password, right? And now I'm going to go ahead and go to my Steam account or my Steam client and hit data link. I'm going to enter my trainer ID. And then I'm going to enter my password. I'm going to hide this from you. And once you enter the password, it should go over the terms of consent again. Just go ahead and click the 2 buttons. Click I agree. We'll go ahead and hit our country. And you should see that it has a confirmation. I can go ahead and link the data. It's going to ask me if I wanted to delete the current data on Steam, which is pretty much blank. It doesn't have anything on it. I'll hit OK. The data is now linked. The game will restart. And you can see I have successfully put my account that was saved onto my phone onto my Steam client. And you can see that I have it all, right? My phone and my Steam client. Okay, so that's how you can have your account transferred back to both devices. That's how you could use your secondary device as a save slot. And ultimately, that is how you can reroll. As far as if you should reroll or not, one disclaimer I do want to say is that I would say that I had a lot of fun in the original Japanese version of the game at launch. I played free to play. I had a couple SSR cards that were considered mediocre or not very good, like Tokai Teo and Nishino Flower, the speed SSRs. Rerolling should be done at your own risk. It won't guarantee that you would have fun with the game, and your time is always valuable, so make sure you don't carelessly waste it. Now, the next thing I want to talk about are the things that you should reroll for. And this is from the perspective of someone who wants to make a competitive PvP team, and also someone who just wants to have an easier time clearing and excelling in the career scenarios. Therefore, the only suggestions I will make would be to roll for specific support cards, as you should be able to start with a 3-star selector, as well as a mission to receive a random 3-star character. Additionally, unlike most gacha games, high rarity characters do not matter as much when it comes to making a good PvP character or getting high career scores. I'm not going to go into too much detail on why these cards are the way they are. I'm assuming that you haven't even started playing the game and you're just interested in knowing that you have a good start. If you want to get a good understanding on how to evaluate these cards, I should have a video coming up that goes over that. Now let's take a look at the tier list. So this is the tier list, and we're going to go over some of the high-rated cards very briefly. This card is Kitasan Black, and according to GameTora is that database website I showed you earlier, Kitasan Black is estimated to arrive in likely around a month after the global release. Veteran players are going to tell you to save for Kitasan Black, and not just to have the base version. The base version isn't very noteworthy on its own. What Kitasan Black excels in is if you have at least 1, but ideally 3 or more limit breaks. The reason why Kitasan Black is on a tier of its own is it fits in any deck, and it provides the most bonuses while also maintaining a very high appearance rate on her preferred training. The next tier are the best support cards that you can have for rerolling, with the caveat that you cannot reroll for this card. This card is the Haru Urara SSR, and this is the card that you can redeem at the shop. You can get this card from the friendship store, so you could go to shop, and this is the card over here. You want to have all max copies. This tier list is assuming that eventually you'll get all max copies. But besides Haru Urara, you have Fine Motion and Super Creek. Fine Motion is kind of similar to Kitasan Black in that you can pretty much put her in any deck, and she is a very efficient stat stick support card that gives you a lot of stats whenever you do train with her. She also gives you a good boost to your wit stat at the start. She doesn't need max limit breaks, but they're always really good. Super Creek is a stamina card, and why Super Creek is really good is that she is a stat stick card that can be slotted into any deck, but typically you are going to want to slot her in for medium distance runners as well as long distance runners. On top of being a very good stat stick support card, she has a golden stamina skill that is pretty much essential, especially if you're just starting out, to making long distance Umamusume, because they usually rely on having high stamina and being able to recover stamina. The cards in E tier are a lot better than what you would think. Biko Pegasus, especially when she's just no limit break and you don't plan on saving to get multiple copies of Kitasan Black, is a really good card just on her own. She is a good stat stick support card, and she is a speed card. Every Umamusume wants to build speed, so she's another card that you can kind of slot in to any deck. She's also really good with sprint and mile distance runners. This special week card is an event card. It's available on the first event. So if I go to my game client here and I take a look at Dashing Towards Your Dreams, the idea is for you to get all copies of Special Week through this event. It's not too difficult if you play consistently. On top of getting it from the event point rewards, you also have to get it from the prize derby. And I'm not exactly sure where the 5th card is, but I do think it's probably at the very end of the story, which will continually release episodes as we progress towards the event. Besides Special Week, you have Vodka. Vodka is a power support card, and the reason why she's here is that she's another stat stick support card that pretty much works with anyone that needs power, and she has a very high rate to appear on her preferred training. The other card I'm going to put here, and this does come with a bit of an asterisk, is Tazuna. Tazuna is a good card for right now. For the scenario we have right now, which is the URA finale, and it's going to stay throughout, but it's usually outclassed by the later scenarios, Tazuna is a great support card for beginners. She provides a lot of useful events that can be very forgiving towards any mistakes you make during the run. And so I do highly recommend her as a card that you would use, especially in the very beginning, to make your runs a lot easier. In the B tier, and I'm not going to go over the specifics, but in the B tier, these are cards that are good, especially Silent Suzuka. I might even put her like in A tiers in some respects, but they're not as good as the cards above it. They're a little more specialized towards certain Umas. These cards don't typically have as many good stat stick passives on them, and they are usually more played because of the skills they give. But those skills that they give are usually pertaining to very specific types of Umas. The C tier are usable cards, for sure, if you don't have any of the above, and the D tier are cards that have little use cases. There are SR cards that also deserve to be on this list. Let me just go ahead and put all the SR cards in so you could use it as a reference. Okay, so this is the full list with all the SR cards included. Keep in mind that for the most part, most of these SSRs are better than the SRs, but sometimes these SR cards have skills that are very good for specific Umas that should be considered whenever you're building your deck. Furthermore, these placements kind of assume that eventually you will be building them up and limit breaking them because SR cards are pretty common. Marvelous Sunday deserves a spot on the A tier because once you max limit break her, she provides 10% race bonus. She also has plenty of useful debuffs. She has a base wit bonus on max limit break. All right, so that's the tier list. Again, I'll go over how to kind of evaluate these cards on a separate video. And that video is going to assume that you've played through the career or you have a somewhat of a decent understanding of how the game works. So if you haven't already, check out my Ultimate Beginner's Guide for Umamusume, which goes over the usual gameplay loop. And make sure you subscribe to this channel for more Umamusume guides here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.